restaurant and there's like, the guy who greets you at the restaurant is also serving you the food and also possibly making the food. That's what I feel like today. I'm doing all the duties. So I just checked. Looks like we're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rachel Miner!
With this theme, I think you should play me today.
Okay, yeah. I'd love to get on that thing. I can't believe that hasn't happened yet.
No, we should do it. Yeah.
I know I'd crash it somehow. She's so good at that now. Remember one time you had a ramp that winded around with no handles on the side or whatever? No barricade, and you were like, shoot, 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 shoot.
I've gotten better. But you know, I think you have to embrace the fact that like one day I might just go off the stage. That's okay.
I'm not okay with that.
It's all right, we got
That's why we put you in the chairs. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the lovely Miss Rachel Miner.
I love these guys. Hello, you. I cannot believe we are already to the last convention of the year. This is craziness. But I'm just happy to spend it with you. And this has been an amazing, amazing year. And just thank you for everything. Because and let's do this weekend right. Okay, let's start question. Oh, I feel like we're definitely doing this weekend right. Look at all of those unicorns. Yes! Love this. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, it's really good to see you.
You too. So I don't have a question for you. I just really wanted to let you know that you're just amazing and beautiful and magical and you're loved and you're enough. And I just wanted to let you know that for the start of the weekend, and just little short stories that like every time I go out anywhere and I see anything like unicorn related, unicorn plushies, I just always immediately think of you. So
thank you. Well, please just know deeply, I feel the same way. I love you all very, very, very much. I'm here just because of you. You have given me life, and I really appreciate that. And I hope, my only hope is that we can keep giving that back and forth to each other. And the same with unicorns. Unicorns make me think of you guys. That's where, you all have given me that, and I feel like it's a little language between us. It's not like I came to this being like, unicorns are the best. It's because of the times that we have shared together and what that means. It's become our kind of secret language of what that means to all of us. So unicorns make me think of you as well. Thank you. And what an incredible, how could I ever describe this supernatural family to anyone adequately? Because just look at that. We're all here just to give each other the best life experience possible and lift each other up. And what an absolutely beautiful thing. And can we please give this to the rest of the world? Because that's what we do. Hello. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Very good, because I'm here.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody here can agree. I actually was wondering if I can record you giving a message to my brother-in-law who was just diagnosed with MS earlier this year, with
Absolutely.
any tips and advice or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to do that now?
I don't know. I don't want to piss people off by doing
I'm sure,
that.
I mean, this is being recorded, so I'm sure you can find it, but here's the thing is, for any of us experiencing this human experience period, we cannot predict what is going to happen tomorrow or even the next hour. We think we can control it, but the only thing we can control is how we choose to interpret it and what we choose to take out of what's going on. So if you are living in fear of what's going to come tomorrow and what your body is going to do and all that, you're taking away from the joy you might be experiencing in this very moment. And that's what I found. It's a really difficult journey, but what I found is the most wonderful thing, and I do think it applies to all of us as human beings, is just to make the most of every single moment. And whatever is going on, don't fight it, don't interpret it as even having to be a negative thing you have to be so upset about. It's like sometimes my body literally is not working at all. I can't move around. I'm lying there. You know what I can do? I can tweet with my friends, or I can read an amazing book, or I can come up with a new plan of something we can do to make the world better. Or there are so many things that I can still find joy in. Even if like I am lying on the ground on the sidewalk, I can look at the sky and maybe it's a beautiful sky and appreciate that. There's always something to find joy in. And I think that that's the one thing that you have to know deeply, cannot be taken away from you. Even those days when we're in the hospital and everything looks dire and whatever, there's usually like a nurse or an attendant or someone you can connect with that like you can have a beautiful conversation with. Just remember to keep, that's where your strength comes in, is keep finding those things. And don't beat yourself. One of the hardest things with I think when we're sick is we can beat ourselves up for feeling like maybe if only I was doing something better, or if I were a better person, or if I were a stronger person or whatever, I wouldn't be going through this. That's not true. Stop making yourself live through that. Those are some of the best pieces of advice. There are obviously practical things that you'll have to learn each step of the way. But that's the best thing I can give to anyone who's been diagnosed with MS, but also anyone going through life, period. I think we all have to find these things. Also, it's okay to be upset sometimes. And it's okay to rage. I found it really important to me, sometimes when I'm alone or whatever, is just to cry or curse the world or, just allow myself to feel what I'm feeling at that moment. And if I vent that, it doesn't follow me into the next moment. I don't walk around feeling sorry for myself and feeling like, why is this happening? Because you know what? I just screamed and cried for a good minute, and I needed that. So don't deny yourself that either, is what I'll say. I hope some of that helped.
Yeah, I'll relay that to him, and I think he'll appreciate that. And what you might find funny, he's definitely started living in the moment more. Like we were at a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and he was, with my sister dancing and going nuts, and my nephew walked up to me, and he leans down, he's like, "This is the happiest I've seen Dad in months."
That's beautiful.
So he's starting to do that, and he's also, to make light of it a little bit, he started to try and find the excuse for what gave him MS. So like he was diagnosed like a couple days after he came back from a trip up north. So he's like, well, that's it. It was talking to my sister, it was your father that did it.
Yes, definitely. I think for all of us, find that joy and find that humor. I crack myself up all the time, and I crack people up, and it should be maybe something that I'm upset about, but you know what, the bodies are hilarious, and the way I refer to my body is it's like either a 2-year-old or an unruly teenager, where like the more I try to get it to do something, the more stubborn it is. So I have to kind of coax it, like, no, I don't need you to walk right now, but it'd be really cool if you like did this thing. Anyway. Thank you again, and wish you so much happiness, seriously. Hello, beautiful Princess. Princess Unicorn.
Hi. My question is about Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
How different was it working on Sons of Anarchy versus Supernatural, and what was it like working with Katie Sagal?
First of all, she was really cool. She's smart and nice and kind, and everyone was really nice on that show. They went out their way. It was, just to try to make me comfortable. It was very, it was a good experience. I've never had an experience like I had with Supernatural. That's just like a whole other caliber of family and camaraderie and whatever, and like as close as we all are and as much as we feel that with each other, that I think that comes from all the way, from the set all the way through. I feel like we sense that from our TV screens. You are not wrong. Like, it's just an abnormally decent, wonderful group of people through and through. And I've never had an experience like that where you're just so comfortable and taken care of every step of the way, and such a team, family kind of camaraderie. It doesn't need to be spoken feeling. Any other show I've done, I felt more like I'm doing a television show and I'm showing up for work, and no matter how nice the people are. Supernatural, it doesn't feel that way. It actually just, it feels right and exciting, and like you're doing something, I don't know, like important but not self-important. Yeah. So, thank you for that. Yes.
Hello.
Hey.
So I was wondering, this is actually a thing from my wife. I was wondering if you could help her out with advice regarding her depression. She likes to sleep a lot. I was wondering if you could maybe give her some advice on how to handle it, as well as about being an expecting mom soon, if she could give her some advice about being a parent.
Well, congratulations. That's beautiful. Again, like I am not a medical expert. I don't want to give, unsolicited advice. But again, it's like just coming from a life point of view. I think one of the things too, when we're going through any illness of any kind, is not to. There is that trick of like what I was talking about with my body. Don't fight it. It's okay. Love yourself. Accept yourself. What's odd is people think a lot of times if you only fought it harder, you would succeed. I found, and again, this is not medical advice, this is just what I found to work, that if you accept and love every aspect of yourself more, you're more likely to be able to overcome it. It's actually from the fight that we we exhaust ourselves. And the more it's like you're trying to get out of the bed, the less likely you are to get out of bed. But, just to be like, it's okay that I'm in bed, but there's also all this other life, and to start to be able to see that. But we have to kind of like, I feel like we tighten ourselves up in these knots when we're fighting things. But if you can loosen that knot a little, maybe you can start to let the light in on that other life stuff that might actually impel you to want to get out of bed, to start seeing, the positives again. But again, this is to say, with any of these things, they are real. They're illnesses we're fighting. I'm not saying like, oh, it's so easy. I always have trouble when people say, you're so inspiring, you're always so hopeful. It's like, I work my butt off at that. That's not, I don't wake up like, the sun is shining and I love that my body isn't working today and this is beautiful. No, I just know that the only way that the best way that I'm going to be in life is if I can find that joy. But it's work to do that, and it's work to work through the difficult times and all those things, and we're all in that fight together. And I think that that's one of the best things, too, you can do, is to be in it with her. You're on a team with her, and find out what she needs, and, hopefully we can all learn from each other and help each other through this, because this life thing isn't easy. I hope some of that helps.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey, it's great to see
It's
you.
good to see you too.
Yeah, I missed you.
Missed you too. Okay. So my question is more about like kind of speculative. So on the show, since now we know that everyone is fair game for coming back, even demons. Do you think that Chuck would try to pit Meg against Cass, and how might Meg react to that?
That's fascinating. Well, first of all, Chuck is pretty powerful, so I guess if he wanted to make something happen, but yeah, I don't think Meg would easily fall for that. I don't think she's one to toy with. So I love this show. I love the writers. I love seeing what direction they can go. So I don't want to interpret or imagine. But like if I were writing the fanfic of Meg and Cass, like there is no way ever that Meg would betray Cass. I think that those feelings run very deep. Whatever you want to call it, however you want to interpret it. I don't mess with people's ships. I think we all should just like ship what we want. But on the other hand, I ship Meg and Cass, and so yeah, I love that love story. And so I think that she would not betray Cass ever. Thank you for that question. I'll see you in a bit. And again, I love these outfits. They're brilliant.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so I have a couple questions. So, we all kind of know your character died a few seasons ago, but I was curious if you had any particular actors or characters that you've seen show up in the show more recently that you would have liked to have worked with, like arcs that you would have.
Yeah, no, that's cool because I was just asked this question. So literally everyone, I love everyone on this show so much. But a couple that I think would have been really fun. I love all the actors and especially all the women. We've gotten very close. So I would love to have scenes with any of them. But I think Rowena and Meg would have been awesome together. I would have loved to see some scenes with Ruth. I would have been really curious. I think Alex is so good. I would have been really curious about the Jack-Meg dynamic and so I think that would have been interesting. I do not spoil for me because I was traveling and I haven't gotten to see the episode yet, but I'm really excited to see Shoshana come back. And I love her so deeply, and she's actually written, separate from Supernatural, very different characters, but she's written a film script for the two of us. Hopefully we get to do that. So I would love to work, I just think she's brilliant and on every level, and so I'd love to work with her. But yeah, I'd love to see so many of the characters, but yeah, like I can't, like Meg and Jody and Donna or whatever, like I don't know, that'd be a really interesting dynamic. I don't know that they'd really get along. But yeah, there are some that I think would be really, basically you put me in with any of those people, Lisa's dad, like they're like you name it, I'd be happy. I love this group so much. So yeah. And I think I want to make a point. I think that Rob is doing an amazing job. And it's really, I think, one of my concerns is this group does not take kindly to like, you're a bad guy, like whatever. They somehow like imbue. Rob is one of the nicest human beings ever. He did not change. He's just a good actor. And I think what they're examining with Chuck is really important. I think you know, we all have seen authoritarian, like one person command, like, and the one person being fickle or whatever, how dangerous that is. So I think that's a really good thing for us to look at. And I'm thankful for Turab for interpreting that for us. So I think we all should be like extra nice to him, not the other way. So anyway, those are just some thoughts. Did you have a story or character in mind?
Actually, I kind of wanted you to meet up with Ruth. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Little team up there, demonic session.
I feel like those characters would have like been really fun to
All
get.
the sassiness.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thanks.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey,
It's nice to see you again.
it's great to see you.
Okay, so I was wondering, what did you find was the most unique part about playing Meg?
The most unique part? I loved her, like, deeply loved her perspective. I love I love the fact that she's, like, existed for all this time. And so she always had that with her. And she just wasn't fazed by any person or event or any little thing. And like, to me, that was her strength. And her humor and everything. All those came out of this just like great perspective on existence. And you know, so that I think was my favorite thing. Also, there's an interesting thing, which is a lot of, I think as women, we can easily fall into this apologetic place. And so it's fun playing a character that is not apologetic. She is not, she doesn't, like, I know I tend to do this thing where I kind of lessen myself to let other people know that I'm safe. And I don't, you know, like, I promise that I'm not going to try to hurt you, it's okay. And I think a lot of women do that, and Meg does not, which I think was a really great quality and something I really admire about her. So, and tried to learn from. What about you? Do you have anything?
I think my most favorite part about Meg was that she took shit from no one. She kind of had her own little thing. She just didn't care except when it came to Cass.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yes.
And I loved how unapologetically protective she was of Cass, but like also, she would never admit that. So fun. Yeah, thank you for that.
Rachel. Good morning. So the fandom has been cooking a lot lately, and
Why is
I
that?
have no idea why that might be. But since everyone is cooking and everyone is loving it, I was wondering if you have a favorite comfort food.
That's a good question. I have like the most boring answer. So I'm one of the most ridiculous eaters you will ever encounter on every level. I literally like drink a lot of green juice. I don't have sugar or wheat or gluten or like basically anything that might taste yummy. One of my comfort things is I still love chocolate, but because I don't have sugar and all those other things, I like eat organic, raw, non-sweetened chocolate. I don't think anyone else would like, but it still gives you, like, I still enjoy it. So yeah, my comfort food. I sometimes like will be comforted by like, I have one too many rice cakes. I mean, I'm the most boring human being ever. So yeah, so I can't give you a good answer. I think I tweeted about this, it's not a joke. I ate bowls and bowls of parsley growing up. I'm such an arbitrary person that literally, I remember the first time I saw parsley at a restaurant, I asked my mom what it was, and she was like, oh, that's not food, that's a garnish. So I then made it my favorite food. So yeah, that's one way to get your kids to be healthy, is tell them not to be. So yeah, and there was another one, like I've always been super strange with food. Like when I was 9 years old, I quit eating chocolate for a year. And when asked why, I was like, because it's my favorite food. So I did not want any food to have power over me. And I thought chocolate had way too much power. So I was like, I can quit you. So yeah, there's a long-winded answer to like, I am strange. No one else eats like me, and that's okay. So,
That's a great answer. Thank you.
thank you.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
I was just wondering if, because I'm on the Random Acts website and I follow the Twitter all the time, I was wondering if there's any like big projects coming up that haven't been announced.
Well, if I can't say that. No, I mean, we're always working on so many cool, wonderful projects, and I consider them all kind of big in their own way. What I love is that so I studied like history and philanthropy and so much of how you do good in the world, and one of the things I notice is, in terms of how things ripple out, it's really hard to put a metric on that. You don't know. It might be the act where you bought someone a cup of coffee, or the fact that you smiled at someone on a line, or something like that really ripples out in the most profound way and really changes this world. That said, I love some of the bigger projects we work on. I love the Change a Life projects. I'm really excited to see the Lao project come to be. I love getting to work with Giles Dooley. He's one of the best human beings I know. And I love getting to work with Gish. I just, those are really exciting things to me, and we're still working on that, actively working on those things. We're still working on the farming collective in Rwanda that you put together money for. I'm excited. I'll be excited to announce as more comes about, because I think that's going to ripple out in a lot of really positive ways in terms of all the good we can do. So yeah, there's all that, and the childhood hunger program was really beautiful. So yeah, it's never going to stop. There are so many amazing projects, and it's getting to work with all of you. And also, one of the most exciting things to me has been watching the regional rep network build out, and watching, I want more and more local groups to exist and college groups to exist, and that's something that you all can do, because I think it's really important that we all keep connecting as humans and just get together and do kind things, because it's like the best. I get together with the local New York Friends of Random Acts group, and just being able to sit around and accomplish something good and work with the local shelter or something like that together as a group is, to me, the most joyful thing, and I think a lot of us get a lot of joy out of it. So I want to see more and more of that too. Does that help? Thank you so much for the question. It's so funny. I'm asking me about Random Acts is like asking a new parent about their baby. Do you want to open that door? Because I will just keep going. So yeah, no, I love everything we're working on so dearly. So.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hey, how are you?
So my question is, in the essence of a lot of characters playing multiple people, if you were to play another character in a Freaky Friday type of scenario, who would you want to play and why?
Oh goodness. It's really hard, because there is that, I don't know if you all have this, but I have this preciousness about the people who play each of these characters. I love that so much that I never want to see that character not be that person. So I don't have a lot of I would want to do that. I kind of think there's an odd similarity and difference or whatever. I think Dean and Meg switching places might be really funny, for an episode. Yeah, I don't know, I think that they're both like similarly snarky and also afraid of emotion. And trying to like be normal in a really abnormal existence, or be cool. I think that would be fun and funny. What about you? Do you have a scenario?
Okay. I kind of think I want you to go like completely opposite and maybe do somebody that's like, I don't know why this came to my head. I'm so sorry, but Donatello.
No.
Like it's so random, like a completely different character, like all skittish and nervous when he was first.
Yeah.
He was a prophet, like something like that, completely out of whack.
That would be fun too. Yeah, I would enjoy that. I also think like inherently me as a human being, probably the character I'm closest to is Charlie. So that would be a fun one too. So yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Great question.
Hi, it's good to see you. So my question is, since it's the last con of the year, what has been one of your favorite experiences that you got to have this past year?
Oh my goodness. It's been incredible all around. And like to me, I don't know, the way I like experience, like, because it's the same, I have the same thing when people ask me about supernatural experiences. It's the whole thing. It's all of us together all the time. It's every conversation. It's every hug. It's getting to cry with all of you. It's getting to share and connect and like all of that stuff. So it's not so much just one moment. Every time I'm in the green room and I get to have these great discussions and debates and stuff with my friends and all the ladies panels, that probably, like, if I got to pick one thing, it would be, like, just having those panels, because I think we've all, like, to me, I am such a stronger, better human being for just the time I've spent with those women and the way we've empowered each other, and I think that's super, super important. And I love, so we only did one this year, but I love the Giving Back tours as well. Like that would be probably like one of my all-time favorite creation experience. Like just when we all are getting together and getting like the maximum good that we can do. Because one of the reasons I'm here is also with talking about Random X, with the Random X table, hoping that we can connect to local groups and so forth. That's to me been like such a joy, and the excitement that so many of you felt with the Giving Back tour and just like experience, like again, I think it's always the feedback, it's the back and forth of like, I feel like we like generated a lot of really good energy with those, and getting to work with the Gish team and all of that, like it just like that's like the height of really cool energy. That to me is what this fandom is about. So yeah, does that? Do you have one?
A what?
Do you have one?
Oh, well, I guess I got to go to a couple tapings of Fuller House. Well, I became friends with Andrea Barber, who plays Kimmy Gibbler, through Instagram. So I got to go, and we finally got to meet in person after talking for like 7+ years online. So that was really fun for me to finally meet her in person. So, and all of you, of course. So
you know what I actually really loved too was the Seattle Con, where no one showed up. I didn't just love that because of my ego. Because I was the one actor, so of course I came off really well. Oh, no, it was that I love getting to see all of you step up in the most incredible way of, like, we get to say a lot of the time that this fandom is not just about, like, some celebrity fetishizing or something like that. It's about each other. It's about the connection. It's about the way we support each other. But that was one of those, like, let's put our money where our mouth is, because literally, like, that was not the convention we expected. It was a disappointment because inherently, like, we're so programmed as humans of, like, I imagined something was going to be one way. I want it to be that way. But to have to readjust and say, how can I make the most of this? and how can I be there for, for other people that are feeling disappointed and so forth. I felt like you all shone in the best way. It was really beautiful to me. So.
So, first of all, just wanted to say that seeing you in your wheelchair in the lobby, smiling and just having a great time is like literally one of the highlights of going to cons. It always makes me smile and it makes my day. So thank you so much for that. And my question is, we all have struggles as people. I was just wondering, what are some tips that you would give to us as a fandom to when things get hard, how do you keep going and how do you push through? What are some tips and motivations that you use yourself?
A couple of things. One, I'll say, do not beat yourself up. Life is hard. Don't make it harder by berating yourself. I think a lot of us do this internally. Berating yourself for feeling like it's hard. It's like, no, it really is. Whatever illusion that we were sold, that life is supposed to be super easy, and I think a lot of that is from, film and television and all these things. It's like, I can have it all. And it's like, no, it's really hard, and you have to pick and choose what's important to you and what you're going to fight for and where you're going to put your energy. And it's okay to feel that upset that it's not all exactly as you're supposed to be, but do that and do that fast and do that, really confront that, and then move forward into how do I find the joy and what can I find out of this that is happy. What you were talking about how much I really genuinely enjoy being around all of you and scooting around, and the fact that Clarence makes people laugh, and just all of that we share. Remember, those moments are always available. And I think that if we're stuck thinking about what we have to do next and what our goals are, it's great to have goals. We need to have things we're reaching for in order to, find joy in life. But if we're fixated on that and we fail to notice what we can enjoy right now, right here, then we've lost sight and we won't be happy. Does some of that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hey.
So I've done Gish 3 years in a row now, and
awesome.
I have my own favorite items. One of my favorite items was the one where you fill up a backpack and then donate it to a foster kid. And then another one, because I got to be a little bit of a smart ass, is the tattoo, not this past year, but the year before, where it was yourself getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
I have the words yourself getting a tattoo on my hip.
Nice.
So my question was, what was one of your favorite items, whether it was something weird or something charitable or anything like that? What was one of your favorite items in the past couple of years?
Yeah, I've loved so many. I love the kindness items. So one of the things is because of anyone with a higher up position at Random Acts, we don't want there to be a worry that we're somehow no insider information or cheating or whatever. So we don't think it'd be fair for us to be allowed to win, even though we don't know, because no one knows, because that stuff is being written and interpreted by other people and so forth. Just in case, we stick to a non-competitive team that can't win. And mostly what we focus on is trying to do all the kindness acts. And those are the ones I love so much. One of my favorite last year was it was a jumble sale, but you gave away stuff for free. Because we did that in New York, and I loved getting to watch people's whole interpretation of life getting shifted in that moment and challenged. Because, especially for New Yorkers, most people did not believe that you were giving them something for free. They're like, what is the catch here? No, you can just take that. No, I want it, but something must be wrong. Or what are you trying to sign me up for? Or when they were trying to find the catch and they couldn't get, no, we're just genuinely just giving you something. And I think those moments are so awesome. I love getting to work with, because it was inter-team, So getting to work with different teams in New York area, it was a really beautiful experience to me. But I do, because I feel like whether, you know, with Gish and with Random Acts, it's kind of revolutionary. What we're getting to do all the time is say, oh, you think the rules of life are this? No, we're going to do this other thing. And that's okay, and we can do that. And so I love something like the free giveaway, because it does that across the board on every level. So yeah, that was definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, I like the whole spirit of Gish. I love seeing everyone else's creations too. I love, you know, seeing those tweets come out. I like the funny ones too, where it just like, there was all the stormtrooper pictures in like pictures of history and things like that. Like to me, that just does the right thing for my brain of just let's play around and mash this all up and not think too solidly about life. So yeah.
I'm actually originally a New Yorker. I moved down to Florida about 5 years ago, so I could just imagine what kind of people you were dealing with in New York. Like, what are you doing? Get away from me. I'm not taking this.
That's right, yeah. So suspicious. The funniest was there was one point where there was a guy who was actually like genuinely really excited. He was like, no, it's free. I can just take it. And look, he was so into it. And he was asking questions, and we said, oh, it's a scavenger hunt. And he bolted. Like, ran away. Like, it was so strange. We were like, did you just see that? And I don't know what he thought scavenger hunt was, and what he thought that meant. Like, I've never seen someone react that way. So yeah, I still am trying to understand the logic of like what he thought. Like we were trying to make him do a scavenger hunt, and that was his like biggest fear in life. I don't know. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. So first off, I just wanted to thank you for everything that you do. You really inspire me to keep fighting my battles, and you really make my Fridays worth coming to. So thank you for being amazing.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing. Thank you. And I hope we can all keep doing that for each other. Just keep inspiring each other to keep fighting those battles. Because we all have them. So.
Definitely. That's why I keep coming. So with that said, we did a Scooby Natural episode recently, and I was wondering if you could choose any other TV show to cross over with as Meg, what TV show would that be?
Oh my goodness. That's really, really hard. I'm also like, I'm a big fan of so many shows, and I like a lot of fantasy shows. I feel like I'm going to regret this one. It's one of those that I'm gonna like look back and be like, why did I say this other thing? I'm a big Doctor Who fan. So my first thing that I thought of was like, I would love to be on Doctor Who. Like I don't know. So to me, a supernatural Doctor Who crossover would be like ideal. I love that. What about you? Do you have ones in mind?
Honestly, I'm all for Doctor Who. I'm such a big Who fan. When you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, yes! That would be amazing.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's something that's really important is I think we, most of, like there's a reason we all connect. I feel like we share the love of a lot of the same things. And I am such a nerd. And thank you all for allowing me to be that with you. So I'm grateful for that. Hey, thank you.
I didn't believe you had.
I was going to say, you're the best at saving me. Like
Like,
thank you.
I got a cache of questions that I can just whip out if I need.
Awesome.
But, so, something I know you can riff on. Let's sort the Avengers into their Hogwarts houses.
Wait, what am I doing? I'm sorting the Avengers into what?
Their Hogwarts houses.
Their Hogwarts houses? See, this is what I'm saying. You know what a nerd I am. I love that I can't, and that I would do. Oh my goodness, so, okay, so we have to go through, let's see, I don't know, I'm thinking right now, I think the Hulk would be, I think he'd actually be a Gryffindor. Because I think that's like the right combination of like, I want to do good, but also like, I'm super weird brave.
But Banner would be Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw, Banner would be Ravenclaw, you're absolutely right. I think, give me, like, Captain America is definitely Gryffindor.
Black Widow.
What was that? Black Widow would be Slytherin, without a doubt. Okay, what?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Tony Stark, I think would actually maybe be a Slytherin.
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Thor would be great.
Hawkeye? Hufflepuff, you think? Yeah, maybe Hufflepuff. But I don't know, like he's kind of Gryffindor, but there's something a little bit like milquetoast, where I'm like, Hufflepuff, I don't know.
Are we doing the houses of different people?
Of Avengers. Because this is what I'm good for.
That's great. That's awesome. I love that. Has anyone ever done that? Like, that's a good...
I don't think so.
Talk about a crossover.
Can you choose the band? Which house is known?
That was going to be my other question.
What's the band?
We have to, like, what house do you all have you done?
I know what I am.
What it is?
Slytherin.
Hufflepuff.
Nice. Hufflepuffs are the best. See, the thing is, like, I'm a Gryffindor. I've done many tests. I'm a, like, through and through Gryffindor, but I'm not a Gryffindor elitist. Some people are like, because Gryffindor is the best. No, the reason why I'm a Gryffindor is because I'm stupid brave. Because, like, whereas other people might think things through, I'm like, no, I got this, guys. And then I'm like on the floor. Like, you know, it does it. So,
Yeah, not me. I know, I've seen you do that ramp.
That's right.
He's Slytherin for sure.
Slytherin?
I think Mike might be Hufflepuff.
I think so, yeah. I think you're a Ravenclaw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now my work here is done.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Meyer! I forgot to mention earlier that we're doing, I think we're doing